And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It's Thursday, January 15th. It's 2026. Hope you're having a good day. By the way, I'm sitting here in Central Florida. I hear it's going to be 30 degrees tonight. I just went outside. It's very windy and it's very cold, at least for Florida. For New York City, it's downright summer. Anyway, in case you don't know, and by the way, we're going to say some things on the market today. It is an extension of what we've been saying on certain things not performing, but we're going to be a little bit more in depth on our words. So it is serious talk on everything that affects you. We will do the markets, the economy, your job, your industry, the Morlocks in D.C., everything that affects you. With no bias, no agenda, no ulterior motive. And we know we're doing our job when we get people emailing us. We don't get any nasty emails anymore, but we get people pissed off, and we get it pissed off from the left and the right, and that's good because both sides suck. Anyway, if you do not get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on our X feed, and if you don't follow us on X, you should. Let's put our name in. If you like to email us, you can. Just be nice. Just be respectful. And, of course, we'll also post the show at the BizTV YouTube channel and other podcast apps. So, we try to be very careful about what we tell you, what we do. We loathe. There are people that go on social media and say, oh, we bought this, we bought this, we bought this, we bought this. And they would say another word for 3 weeks, and some of the things they bought crashed. And then they come back and tell you, oh, we sold them 10 days ago. We try to be careful about that. I want to start out by saying we bought the Spider, which is the S&P 500, not equal weighting. In other words, it's based on the big strength versus the little. And we bought the NASDAQ 100, the QQQ, back in late April. Right after, well, what happened was they did the Liberation Day, market crashed. And then on that Wednesday, on Monday, they were going to change their stance, but it got leaked, so they changed it on Wednesday. The market put in a real, like a 2,000-point down move in 10 minutes. Then for a few days pulled back. Why? Because there was rumors that they may go back to Liberation Day, whatever. 2 days after, we had this, what we call a follow-through day. It's a confirming occurrence. It's a one-day occurrence. I will tell you that every bull move started with one, but not every one worked out. There's been plenty that go up and then fritter away. So we bought the SPY and the QQQ. Very timely. We sold the QQQ weeks ago because of, and we wrote it up good, because 8 stocks are in the 60% plus range of the Qs, and we just noticed a few of them were acting poorly. But we have not sold the S&P. We still have it. And the S&P hit a high in late October at 637. The SPY, excuse me, I'm sorry. That's the Qs. 689. Late October. October to November, November to December. We're almost 3 months. Mid-October. We are about 3 months now. No gains. Up 3. 680, almost 690. We closed today at 692.01. 3 months of no gains. And we had some corrective work, had some corrections, but no gains as the mid caps just broke out 5 days ago and are on the move. The small caps on the move. The equal weighting S&P broke out a few days ago, up 2%, while the S&P hasn't budged. How can that be? Well, as we've said to you, the equal weighting S&P is 0.2%, each of the 500 stocks. But in the S&P, 8 stocks are like 30 some odd percent. And the problem is those 8 stocks, Apple, bearish. Microsoft, really bearish. Meta, bearish. Netflix, really bearish. Tesla, somewhat on the bearish side. The Broadcom, I wouldn't call it bearish, but under the 50-day and not working. Amazon hasn't done a thing in a year. That leaves us with Nvidia and Google. Nvidia has done nothing since August. The only one that's really been bullish is Google. So all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, we've been telling you about this weakness, but the broad market continues to do the job. Today on my screens, strong day for the mid cap, strong day for the small cap. The S&P was up 0.25%, while the mid caps were up over 1% and the small caps were up a little less than 1%. On top of that, the transports were up about 1.6%. And then you have these other, the semiconductors. The SOX was up 1.76 today, though we'll talk about that later because may have hit a bump today. So just letting you know, we're in the midst of thinking, man, we wrote up the S&P, but we really want to ride things up. And all we can tell you today, the NASDAQ was up 250 early because of big, strong semiconductors. But also, the mega caps were not down. And the NASDAQ only finished up 58 today, gave back almost 200 points. And the semis gave back a bunch, but Apple ended up down near $2, Microsoft $3, Netflix was up, finished down, Tesla was up, finished down, Amazon was up a bunch, was finished up $1.50, Nvidia was up 6 and change, finished up $3.90, Google was actually down, and that's the strongest name. You catching my drift? So we're just letting you know we're thinking about this because the broad market has been pretty damn good since the first day of this year. And the S&P and the NASDAQ 100 can't get out of its way. They're just range-bound 3 months. And the NASDAQ is off the highs of October. 24.0, it's only about 2% off the highs, not a big deal. But you want to really take from the market the most you can get. And I'm not so sure you're going to get it from the SPY anymore versus the RSP, which is equal weighting. We'll see. I had to bring that up because it's starting to get the best word I can use. What word am I looking for? Much more. You can see now the difference between the equal weighting and the regular, and the small and mid versus the large. And there are charts out there that are basically, they are small caps versus large caps. And you can see the small caps have turned up the right side in a very big way. So there is definitively a move afoot away from, remember, for a long while we were on here saying everything sucks everything's bearish except 8 names and a few others. It's completely changed now. And the unfortunate thing for the big indices, the unfortunate thing is that I'm not sure they can really get going if these 8 don't. And in fact, you got 6 of them that are heading south still. We'll stay in touch on it. Hey, lots more to cover today on Investor's Edge. So let's call it a weird day in the market. What do I mean by weird? Goldman Sachs reported earnings. And what we do is, in the lead up to the open of the market, we are going through where earnings reports are opening. Goldman Sachs was down about $16 to about 920, right before the open. Right before the open. It only opened down 4 or 5. And in the first minute, it rallied from 924 to 945. Futtered around for a few minutes and finished up $43. Was down $16. And now keep in mind, when companies report, you have these institutions looking them over, the analysts, and they had it down $16. They were saying the numbers are not great. What changed beats the hell out of me, because Morgan Stanley also was down just $1 before the open. And on the first bar, it's up 6. Finished up 10.5. And interesting, both of these things did that after yesterday. Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, and Bank of America all got smacked on their earnings reports. And Citigroup, my bad. Citigroup recovered decently today. The others did not. So beats the heck out of us how that goes. Got a couple of more banks reporting tomorrow. M&T Bank, I think. I'm not sure what else. M&T Bank, PNC, and Regions Financial. And State Street also. So 4 names. What else went on today? Well, as we said, the NASDAQ was up 250. I'm going to get my bearings right here. It finished up 58. The NASDAQ hit today 23,721. Yeah, about 250. Only finished up 58. But as I look at the market, the strength early today, it came in off the highs. The semiconductors today that opened up ridiculously strong, another gap. The SOX today, right near the open, was at 8,000 and closed at 78.37. Gave back 163 points. At one time was up 300. So that got a little distributed, but still strong. And I think the only thing wrong there is, man, they got them extended. I have to tell you, KLAC at the open today was 1571, up $137 early. And I'll explain why. ASML finished up 68, was up but 95. The story goes, Taiwan Semi, which was up 25, finished up a little less than 15. They reported earnings, and they said something about something called CapEx, capital expenditures, how much they're going to be spending going forward, which is how many chips are going to be needed, and that's why they jammed the living heck out of these equipment stocks of the semis. But it's not just that. They rallied up a lot of the so-called artificial intelligence names, came off the highs of the day. I'll look them over tonight. They gapped up BlackRock, Finished up 64 today on their earnings. Not at a new high, but looks like it's starting to show up. Better action in just transports, restaurants, economically sensitive. Mention the semis, housing. Remember what happened with the housing? They did something with $200 billion. Markets love when government injects all kinds of money. And we don't mortgage backs, whatever. The housing stocks turned up on that news. So it was a good day for that. Better day for housing-related stuff. Something like a top build, BLD, just broke out at 462 3 days ago. It's 500 already. The company's earnings are down every quarter. Government. Decent retail day today. Few down, but nothing wrong. And here's another thing that happened today. People were making fun of President Trump. We're not. The story is that he was talking tough. We're going to blast the hell out of Iran. And I'm paraphrasing. He's backed away. Oil prices dropped $2.95 today after jumping up. Interesting enough, oil stocks, not so bad. I would have thought they would have been hit hard today. So I don't know what the market believes. By the way, I'm cool with that he backed away. People were talking taco again. You know, that's the taco thing with tariffs. Trump says something and then backs away. Whatever. I don't want to attack. And he better not attack Greenland, by the way. I saw a bunch of Republicans today, all jimmied and souped up. Oh, yeah, Greenland. Yeah, wait. I don't think that's happening. Anyway, that's a great day for the consumer as oil prices tanked, and I think that's part of the process today of what happened in the market. So, just letting you know, broad market, change of complexion, big stuff out, rest in. And if you recall, and I do, I was on this show every day saying, avoid this. Boy, that sounds like everything. Oh, but by the way, here's the strength. And it was a select few names and a select few sectors. That's changed. Now, how long it lasts, how far it goes, I don't have a clue. I can just tell you it's going on. And if it changes again, we'll let you know. It got accentuated. That's the word I was looking for. It's got accentuated in the past couple of days. Actually, from the start of the year, it's got accentuated. It's quite the wow, if you ask us. Up next, what else be going on? Actually, we're going to help you save money today also. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. By the way, when all was said and done today, Goldman Sachs was pretty much the whole Dow today, up 292. Remember what we told you? The big names have the highest price names in the Dow have all the influence. Hey, I'm about to save a little money. And I'm about to save myself a little money. So every morning I wake up in 6 a.m. hour. Winston, that doesn't like jumping on the bed anymore, sleeps in his little bed. And I get up and turn on the tube. I turn on the game show channel. Yes, I like watching the old match game shows with Gene Rayburn. And then I put on main type of news. And I watch the Today Show. But I tape it and just go through the things because I got to tell you, they do 15 minutes of this and then a bunch of that. something they brought up today. I couldn't believe the number, but then again, I can. The average person in this country has $90 in subscriptions, but $17 of those subscriptions are unused, and they don't know it. On top of that, and we know this, how hard is it to cancel something? What did I have to cancel the other day? I forgot what it was. It took me 6 steps, and I still couldn't figure it out to cancel something. I finally figured it out. So Washington, D.C. is actually doing a good thing for a change. And that's hard to come by also because we know Washington, D.C. just plain old sucks. They are trying to put through some sort of legislation to make all these subscription thingamabobs that they have to make it easier for you to cancel. It shouldn't be easy to sign up and hard to cancel. It shouldn't be easy to do a trial and then want to cancel, and then an act of God to cancel. So just letting you know that's going on, and I got to tell you, I went through my subscriptions today. I found some. You know what Google did to me? I guess I have this Google business thing, and without my knowledge, they put a lot more people onto it to where I was first paying $8 a month. I think it's up to like 45 or 50 now. So they're getting a call. And WWE is no longer on Peacock, so I'm canceling that this weekend. And I'm going to be looking at those. Check your subscriptions out, kids. You never know. A year ago, I didn't even realize this. Ducked onto one of my credit cards, and usually I'm pretty darn good at reading it. I was being charged for 9 months of something that I really didn't think I signed up for, and I paid 9 months of, and I don't even remember what it was. Check your credit cards. Don't be a doofus like me. And let me help you with another thing. The Wall Street Journal. So they start you off with a teaser rate for a year. I do digital. I don't get it sent. And what happens is, at the end of the year, they email you that they're now going to raise you to a big number. And I just tell them I'm canceling. You know what they do? They send you back the teaser rate again to keep you on. Just want to let you know. That goes for a lot of news-driven stuff. They want your eyes. So just letting you know that also. But I just want to start just to save you a little bit of money, because if I'm going through some of that subscription crap, you are too. Anyway. And by the way, I was all over it today. Other news. Did you read this? Oh, first. Looks like Harbaugh's going to be the coach of the Giants. So it is a happy day for me, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm a big believer this year if the Giants had a good coach, I think they would have won 10 games. There were 5 games they were winning in the fourth quarter, but the coach was so bad, didn't know how to close a game. Now, I don't believe it's been signed yet, but it looks pretty much done. It looks pretty much done. And I do believe in the next day or so that baby's going to be signed. I am thrilled. And tomorrow's Friday. We'll give you playoff picks. Monday is the University of Miami, Indiana game. We can give that out on Monday. The spread on that is Indiana's minus 8.5. The over is 47.5. I think Indiana's the better team. But 8.5 is a lot of points. The over 47.5, I think that's light. I have a sneaking suspicion this is going to be in the 50s, if not the 60s. But we'll give that out on Monday, and we'll do the football playoffs tomorrow. I'll spend some time tonight. Buffalo at Denver, San Francisco, Seattle, Houston at New England, Rams at Chicago. A couple of them really stick out for me. We'll let you know. And which leads me to the other thing I wanted to bring up. Do you know people have been arrested, dozens of people charged with fixing and point shaving college basketball, and some of the defendants played in the last week? Unbelievable. Gambling. School's name in the indictment: Tulane, Southern Miss, St. Louis, Robert Morris, Northwestern State, North Carolina A&T, New Orleans, Nicholls State, LaSalle, Kennesaw State, Fordham, Eastern Michigan, DePaul, Coppin State, Buffalo, Alabama State, Abilene Christian. Wow. They're charged with bribery in sporting contests and conspiracy to commit wire fraud. The alleged fixtures are also charged with additional counts of wire fraud. Maximum sentence of 5 years. Fraud charges up to 20 years. Gee whiz. They were shaving the games. Players were doing things on the court in order for other bettors to win their bets. Scum! You know, there are people that believe there's a lot of that going on, even now. Even now. Back on markets. Keep avoiding the software stocks. Even today, when the market was up big, Salesforce.com finished down another 6, Microsoft down another 2, Oracle down another 4, and those are the big ones. The smaller software stocks are just getting run over. HubSpot, Workday, CrowdStrike, Guidewire, Snowflake. I can go through a crap load of them. They're just being let go and let go and let go. So I hope you've been listening there. A lot of jello moving on the plate, kids. And I have to tell you, if you owned all the big tech, you're losing money, regardless of what the market's doing. So I hope you listen to that also, because it's been bad. It got worse today. And I have them in one spot on my screen, and they went from green to red early and just kept going and going and going and going. It is revenge of the nerds. It's the best way I can put it. I don't usually buy mid-cap indices. I bought the mid-caps. That's not normal for me. Tomorrow's another day. Up next, this, that, and the other thing. This is the one only Investor's Edge. Interesting today. You know, we talk cause and effect with the oil, so oil tanked today. So the airlines were up, bounced pretty good, but the cruise lines were down. I would expect them to bounce. And the hotels are up, travel's better. By the way, I have to go to South Florida this weekend, and I may stay in Miami Saturday night. Holy crap, what they get for hotel rates on Miami Beach. Who is paying those prices for little hotel rooms? They're insane. $1,500. Kiss mine. They ain't getting that from me. There was one for $2,500. What, do they think this is Tuscany? I guess Miami's a hot place these days. When I lived there in high school, I went to North Miami Beach Senior. Miami was, my grandmother lived on Miami Beach at the National Hotel, I believe it was called. I think it was, the National. I had my bar mitzvah at the Eden Rock Hotel on Miami Beach. But I guess it's really grown up big time, and big money's there, and big foreign money's there. Good for them. I still remember, was it 07, 08 where it crashed? But it's back, just in a big way. But I do have to complain about one thing. The drivers down there on I-95 Miami, they suck. And it's amazing. I've been down there, and people drive it, and I'm not making this up. Not exaggerating. People driving 120 miles on I-95 and nobody's stopping them. You would think the police would have and the sheriffs have a field day, and they do nothing about it, and they could stop it. And I've never looked up how many people are dead on I-95 down in Miami. I still remember I was driving, I had a duck. But I'm glad to see. I lived in North Miami Beach, and then I moved to the Aventura area, a place called Sky Lake, Highland Oaks. It's a great place to live. I loved it there. But it's gotten so... I remember when Aventura, before it was Turnberry, there was like not much there, and then a gentleman by the name of Don Sofer took it over, and boom! And now it is just... Nothing like progress, kids. And I got to Orlando because of the radio show. And the Chrysler Jeep dealers were covering the show. And all of a sudden I got a lot of calls. And I said, let's go to Orlando. See how it works out. And I dig it here. I live 30 miles from Daytona Beach. 40 miles from Disney. I-4 takes you all the way, and they finally fixed up I-4. That was a nightmare for a long while, but now they have a fast lane that you pay for, and I am glad to pay for it. Comes out of my Christmas Club account. Anyway. The S&P 500 this year is up 1.5%. The mid-cap 400 is up 6.4%. Russell 2000, 7.8. The NASDAQ only up 1.2. That's all you need to know. Small and mids versus big. And it's all on a few stocks. Seriously, it's all on a few stocks. As I have said to you, 8 names in the 60s for the NASDAQ 100 and in the 30s for the S&P. And only one name is bullish, and that even sold off today. If that changes, we'll let you know, because this is some vital stuff. As we said, we have a big chunk of the SPY going back to April, and now we're noting other things are better. And I'm wondering about it lasting a while, because they have not been better for so long. And I'm thinking, well, since they have been so much weaker versus the other, don't you think the relative strength is going to be better for a while also? I think there's a shot. And again, as I've stated, we'll keep you on top of it. Not easy. Again, the S&P is up 1.5. The Russell's up 7.8. Mid-cap 6.4. The NASDAQ's only up 1.2. And I gather the NASDAQ 100, I don't have that number, but let's see. The NASDAQ 125, about 1.2. So a change of complexion. The only thing we don't know, duration, how much, We'll stay on top of it. We're not in the small caps right now. We are in the mids. And we're in the Dow. I never do that. Dow's okay. That's a little bit of the story here. And let me repeat. It got accentuated today. That's the best way I can explain it. More accentuation of it. And we're less surprised by the day because markets change. The job is to follow the change and deal with the change. But I needed lots of proof. We're getting more on a daily basis. Reasoning, don't care. Outcome, everything. And that's your story today. Avoid software, mega cap tech. Seriously. The Mag 7 or the Mag 8 or whatever they call it. You'll have a great evening. Drive carefully. When you get home, do like we do. Quite simple. Make sure you hug your family. Make sure you hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better. I promise. Stay well. Be well. As always, thanks for joining us. Peace out, all. Good night.